All right, let's talk about Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole and Billy Nelson, his trainer and manager, actually put Martin Bakole's life in danger on Saturday night. Like they literally did. How is Martin Bakole coming into the ring 315 pounds? Like, how is that even a possibility for a fighter to come into the ring out of shape and overweight to face a fighter that have 3 months or at least 2 months of intense, camp? Like, how is that even possible? How is that made possible? Right, we talk about boxers' safety all the time. Just 3 weeks ago, a boxer passed away in Scotland, or I believe in Wales. It was one of those. And we talked about this, and, we always talk about how fighters need to be protected. And then, how this fight was sanctioned. If you think about it, right, and we've had a few days to really think about it, it was an absolute disgrace. To see Martin Bakole in the fight on the night when he took off his robe, he looked overweight, he looked out of shape, and he looked like he wasn't primed to take shots. Look, I get it, right? Boxers need to get paid. Boxers have got family that they need to feed. So it is only right that a boxer would always want to get in the ring and get paid. I understand it absolutely. But we've also talked about safety of boxers in the ring. If Martin Bakole was seriously injured, right? If Martin Bakole was seriously hurt in that fight after taking that shot, everyone would be pointing their fingers at Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh Season for what had just happened. We've seen so many fatalities. We've seen so many injuries in boxing. So why would a fighter that was not primed to take shots, a fighter that has not been, taking part in a training camp for months, be in a ring with a fighter that is ready to go, that is in war mode like Joseph Parker in the heavyweight division? If this was in any other division, in hindsight, I would have gone, yeah, that's absolutely fine. This was the heavyweights, guys. This was really serious. And Martin Bakole was in that ring on Saturday night. And his life was on the line. And it is something that we have to talk about. I think Eddie Hearn, after the bout, said that Martin Bakole should never have been in the ring. And I think Frank Warren also said the same thing. And look, I was wrong. When the fight was made, when Dubois, pulled out and Bakole stepped in, I was bigging Bakole up, right? I was giving him props. And of course I should, because he's a warrior, right? He wants to get in the ring. He wants to have a fight. But to think about it, in hindsight, he should never have been in that ring, because that was a dangerous fight for Bakole. And his manager and Billy Nelson, I know the money was great, and Bakole probably made a lot of money on Saturday night. But his life was on the line. It was like his life was in danger in there. And to be fair, we don't know what the effect of this punch is going to be. We have to wait and see when Bakole gets in there with Ife Ajagba. If Bakole cannot take punches when he gets in there with Ife Ajagba, then we know that this fight has contributed to that. Because the thing about heavyweight boxing and fighters taking punches is, one punch can actually diminish your punch resistance. We've seen that with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. When Joshua got hit on the temple and lost his equilibrium, it was never the same after that. Joshua cannot take those punches anymore. So although Martin Bakole was paid and it was great, there is probably an injury, or there is probably an effect that we don't know about until it gets in the ring the next time. But this could have gone really, really bad for Martin Bakole. You can see in there, you can see in his belly and his face and his body was just, didn't look like someone that should be in the ring, in a professional ring. having a fight against a heavyweight. These guys hit way too hard. And how this fight was sanctioned. Of course, look, the boxing world, myself included, and other people, pundits and people on TV and radio, everyone was excited because Martin Bakole is the boogeyman of the division. Absolutely. But his life was in danger in that fight. And to think about it, why would a professional fighter be in such a shape? If you think about it, it's just mind-boggling because Martin Bakole just fought Jared Anderson in August last year. And, that was a fight that everyone gave him props for. And I think he did fantastically well. Beating Jared Anderson in the US and really making a name for himself, Martin Bakole. But how can he go from that to then, putting on about more than 20 pounds? Because in that fight, he weighed 280, I believe. And now he's 315. How can he go over 20 pounds of weight just from August to now? And this shows why fighters need to stay in shape at all times, because these things can happen where, a fighter pulls out and then you have to step in. And if you have to step in that shape, you're basically putting yourself in danger, right? Your career in danger. So Martin Bakole and Billy Nelson need to look at themselves in the mirror and realize what they've done here. And Martin Bakole and Billy Nelson actually need to take Martin Bakole's weight seriously, because you cannot fluctuate that much in fights because it's going to catch up to you. We've seen that caught up with Tyson Fury when he's yo-yo in his weight and his body composition and not being able to, look after himself. It's caught up with Tyson Fury. We've seen that. And if Martin Bakole keeps doing this, then this is going to catch up with him as well at some point. Usyk is a prime example. Joshua is a prime example of someone that is always in shape. Chris Eubank Jr. is a prime example of that, always in shape. So you know that their body is right. Martin Bakole did not look right on Saturday. Martin Bakole put his life in danger on Saturday. And boxing watched that happen. And we talk about boxers' safety all the time. If something bad had happened on Saturday, we will all be here talking about it. Everyone will be in the comment section talking about how it was unacceptable for Martin Bakole to get in that ring and have that fight with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was sharp. He was ready. So why would we put a fighter in there who wasn't ready? Now, I was led to believe by Billy Nelson that Martin Bakole had been training. It was evident that Martin Bakole has not been training. He was enjoying too much. He was eating too much in the Congo. And this is the seriousness about the whole issue, where anything could have happened in that ring. So yeah, Martin should have never been in that ring on Saturday. In hindsight, that was a bad decision by Turki Al-Sheikh. Of course, he got paid, but what is the price of getting paid for your life? So look, that is my thoughts on it. That's my opinion on it. I think it was a bad showing. I think it was a bad decision. I think we may see the effects of this in the next few fights that Martin would have, because he was caught cold, right? Imagine Martin traveled from Congo to Addis Ababa, which is Ethiopia. And then from Ethiopia, I think he stopped off in Dubai for a few hours and then got into Saudi after that. So after all that traveling, right, being jet lagged and not training and not sleeping, he got in there and had a fight. So he got caught cold on his temple, which is a place that when you get hit can leave a lasting effect. So we don't know how Martin is going to react in his next few fights. We shall see. But I think it was a bad decision by him, by Billy Nelson, and probably by Turki Al-Sheikh, because Martin had the opportunity and had a chance and had the right to not take the fight. So, it was a bad decision from him as well. But you guys get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Do you have a different opinion to mine? Maybe you do. Get in the comment section and let me know. As always, guys, I appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.